portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Education officials making the rounds for the last time today, assessing just over $5 million of general school repairs ahead of the start of school in just under 2 weeks.
Now, our Charisma Robinson was there as Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald and his team assessed exactly what it will take to bring the schools up to standard.
Minister of Education, Science and Technology Jerome Fitzgerald made his first stop at Doris Johnson Senior High School Wednesday, where a boundary wall has been built at the rear of the campus. Mr. Fitzgerald noted that the back of the school originally had fencing, but was causing a security issue as students would reportedly leave the school's campus during the day.
It's easier now for them to police it and for them to ensure that there's order on the campus and not be concerned about kids leaving or persons who are not welcome entering the campus.
And from Doris Johnson, education officials then went to have a look at the former St. Bede's and Our Lady's Catholic schools. The minister admitted those facilities will unfortunately not be ready to enroll children this new school year. When completed, St. Bede's and Our Lady's will become the center for the ministry's preschool administration and special needs, respectively.
Our Ladies will not be ready because they got started late as well, but we've made provisions to be accommodated at Mabel Walker during the time frame between when school opens and when that facility is complete, which will be before the end of the year.
Minister Fitzgerald and his team also made a stop to view repairs at the C.H. Reeves Junior High School. Mr. Fitzgerald recognized a number of issues at that school, but he's happy that most of those problems were solved.
One of the main things I came here to see was really the completion of the block which is behind us. As you may well be aware, this block has been ongoing for a number of years, and we are just excited that we're going to be able to put students into it this semester. And also we had to remove the other two-story block and another block behind it.
Now, the completion of that new block cost about $100,000 and will house the school's math department. This coming school year, Principal Greta Brown expects to enroll about 1,100 to 1,200 students.
Teachers and my team, the students, they're all excited about the new facilities that have been provided.
Overall, the education minister was pleased with the repairs he inspected, as just over $5 million was spent on repairs to New Providence schools. Now, as for repairs to the Crooked Island School, which suffered major hurricane damage, the minister confirmed that will wrap up this week. As for the other Family Island schools, he says there were no major repairs needed. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
Some 180 recruits make up the latest group of educators to enter the noble profession of teaching. Among them are the 16 Cuban teachers who arrived in the country yesterday. They'll join the more than 4,000-strong teacher complement already in the public school system. And to get them ready, education officials are hosting their annual two-day orientation workshop. Education Minister Jerome Fitzgerald welcomed the new teachers, who he says are entering the profession at a critical juncture. And while the ministry has been able to address an overall shortage of teachers in the public schools, Minister Fitzgerald says finding specialized educators in certain areas like music and art is still a challenge.
The Ministry of Education requirement for teachers changed a number of years ago, and we require a Bachelor of Education in your field of study along with a teaching certificate, and so it poses a challenge for us in certain areas, but as time goes on, we're seeing more and more. I think this year we had 3 music teachers who met those requirements, but we still need more. But as the years go on, we anticipate that we'll be able to continue to fill it, particularly in music and art, where we feel is necessary in all of the schools, but we don't now have a sufficient complement.
There's some good news coming out of the country's civil aviation industry. According to Transport Minister Glenys Hanna-Martin, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, recently conducted a successful audit of air safety regulations and practices in the country. The Transport Minister noted that although the audit was unexpected, it showed that the Department of Civil Aviation worked diligently to address the concerns raised earlier, which mainly focused on human resource and training issues.
We're going to get formal word next week by way of perhaps diplomatic note through the United States government. But I think it is safe for me to say this to you, that it was clear that the Department of Civil Aviation had worked extremely hard. They made an excellent presentation, demonstrated answers to all of the issues that had been raised. And frankly, I was extremely proud of the work done by the Department of Civil Aviation, and it is incumbent on me to commend the director and the manager of Flight Standards Inspector and the entire team at Civil Aviation for the work that they have done.
After 6 years of operations, the Bank of the Bahamas has closed its Miami Service Center. BOB Managing Director Paul McQueenie said due to the new requirements for operating in the United States, Bank of the Bahamas took a business decision to close that branch at the end of June. The closure will not impact bank operations in the Bahamas. Mr. McQueenie explained that in 2012, BOB's Financial Services Inc. engaged an independent consulting firm to assess the ongoing operational requirements given a rapidly evolving regulatory landscape and best practice requirements in the United States. The exercise concluded that officials would no longer be able to outsource back office operations from Miami to Nassau. Consequently, it would have to invest, or the company that is, would have to invest substantially in new resources and systems to keep the Miami branch open. McQueenie said as a result, it was determined that the costs and risks associated with upgrading the Miami branch outweighed the medium-term benefits of staying open. And just to be clear, Mr. McQueenie said this closure of the Miami branch has no effect on the overall operation of the bank.
Well, if you want to see a good-looking 70-year-old, just take a look at Prime Minister Perry Christie. He wasn't modest in the least about that fact as he celebrated 70 today. To celebrate, Urban Renewal's band played several birthday renditions in his honor at the office of the Prime Minister, prompting the Prime Minister to break out into his signature shuffle dance. It was an extension of a celebration which also included PLP party members at party headquarters earlier this week. Today, Prime Minister Christie was all smiles as he told us why this 70th birthday also marks a first for the country.
Sure, we have not had a Prime Minister in office at the age of 70. So Lyndon Pinling lived to be 70, but he was in opposition when he died. And Hubert has not reached that age yet. And so I'm a first. And for me, the expression of our democracy allows me to be here at this time. And I'd like to thank all of you who are here, who are a part of my office or a part of the Ministry of Finance, for your loyalty to the work you do for and on behalf of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And I walked 4 miles this morning. And I was being driven by Chief Inspector Cunningham, who just kept on pushing me. He said, we have to walk for a minimum of 1 hour at pace. And so my body is crying out for the punishment that I inflicted on it today. But you know, listen, even I have to admit, I look good for 70.
Still to come tonight, Team Bahamas coming oh so close to qualifying for the next round in junior boys basketball. But now, what's the next step for the team? Find out coming up in ZNS Total Sports.
And coming up in Family Island news, one Abaco dock in need of repairs. We'll tell you about it. You're watching the Bahamas tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Club Med's $100 million expansion plan should provide a boost to the island of San Salvador, similar to what Ganting Group is doing for Bimini. Minister of State for Investment Kalis Rule said the proposal is a major step in the right direction and that the government will soon make a decision on concessions for the owners. Rule says he believes major investments such as that one will give islands like San Salvador the economic independence it needs, and he says he's happy about the opportunity. Club Med is one of San Salvador's major employers. In the past 4 weeks, Ultra Petrol stocks have raised by 20.3%, and it's currently trading well above its 20-day SMA. For some, the question is, can this trend continue? However, for the company, this is encouraging news that earning estimates have risen in the past week, suggesting that Ultra Petrol is moving in the right direction. Ultra Petrol is a Bahamian registered company, and currently its stock has a ZAX rank number 2, suggesting that the recent run could certainly continue. And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that minutes from the Federal Reserve's July policy meeting provided no clear signal on when the central bank will start scaling back its $85 billion bond buying program. The minutes from the July 30th, 31st meeting show officials divided about the appropriate timing of the first reduction in bond purchases, with a few officials with votes on policies looking to move soon and a few others urging patience and more of a wait-and-see approach. The minutes were released Wednesday after the customary 3-week lag. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.